Red FM.
We know it's there, and you'd be lying to say it's not in your head. But I mean, the games leading up to it are the ones that you need to nail down and show that you're right up for it, so that you can put, you're knocking on Tony and Laurie's door and putting your hat in for selection, I suppose. It's the games leading up to it are the lads' opportunity, especially when the international lads are away, to show how good we can be, and as I say, it's there, but it's not something we're worrying about on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah, how big a game is it though? Because I mean, you look back at the final pool game at Thomond Park. Northampton made it so difficult. Maybe Munster didn't play to their maximum that evening. It's going to be a very, very tough game, isn't it?
It is, and they're quality opposition. I mean, there's internationals throughout their team, as do we, So no, it is. They're extremely physical, as all English teams are. They've got a good 10. They've got experience in the back line as well, with Rihanna. But as I say, it's these bread and butter games that we're leading up to it are the ones now that we really nailed down our form, that we can go through patterns, get our game plan in place, so that we hopefully come then Heineken Cup time that we're in a strong position and that we can go on and push on from here,
Yeah, and from a personal point of view, James, you must have your eye on getting in for that Northampton game especially. There are places up for grabs with the injuries to Dennis Leamy and Niall Ronan and Donnacha Ryan as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I say, I'm just trying to, you're delighted to get a run of games, so I've been playing out from the Ulster game and it's great. I mean, you always relish the opportunity to put on the jersey. So I'm just trying to hope that keep playing week in, week out, and keep, showing my worth to Tony and Laurie, and hopefully, the selection will look after itself then at that stage,
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier on as well, James, your away form hasn't been great this year. I know I'm looking well down the line here at this stage, but if you do beat Northampton, it's going to be an away semi-final against Biarritz or the Ospreys. Neither of those will be very easy.
Jesus, no, they won't. Both Biarritz and Ospreys are quality sides. You only look at Biarritz with Arnon Dickey and Yashvili at half-back as well, and they've internationals. Their front rows is amazing as well. I mean, Ospreys then have it's basically the Welsh pack, and you have the likes of Shane Williams and Tommy Bowe in their back line as well. So, and they will be looking to make amends against us if we, God willing, we get that far. So I mean, once you get into these stages in the Heineken Cup, there is no bad team. So, I mean, no matter who we were playing or where we were playing, it was always going to be a quality side we were going to play against. But, that's not even entering into lads' heads. No, I to be honest with you, I didn't even know who we'd have at that stage. So, I mean, no, we're just looking at, we maybe look at blocks of 3. So we have Connectley this week, Glasgow the following week, Leinster obviously at home, and then, you're into Heineken Cup mode then at that stage,
Mm-hmm. And just on a wider scale, James, obviously great news recently about Doug Howlett, the fact that he's going to be staying on for next season. I know he's a very popular guy with the lads in the dressing room. Great news obviously for the province.
Oh, brilliant. Any player of Doug's stature to re-sign again for the next season is quality. He brings on the young fellas as well in the squad, and he's a great guy around the place, So obviously we were all delighted to hear that Doug was staying on. He's a family here now as well, and hopefully he's settled in and he's loving it as much as we're enjoying having him here,
Yeah, I suppose the flip side of that then is that you are unfortunately losing John de Villiers, a guy who's made a great impact since he came in back in September. How much will you miss him?
Yeah, John has been very good since he's came over, but you kind of have to respect the guy's decision. He wanted to go home for the World Cup. It's an opportunity for him, and I think he said himself he'd regretted maybe down the line if he hadn't gone home for the World Cup. So you have to respect the guy's decision and do that, and you wish him all the best in that, But there's the young fellas coming through in the squad that will show their worth now. I'm sure Tony and Laurie will probably look at doing something maybe a bit further down the line. But I mean, the lads that are in the squad, it's an opportunity for them to step up and show that they're able to play at that level as well.
Yeah, how good are these young players that you mentioned there, James? I mean, we've seen in the Edinburgh game, especially at Musgrave Park, Scott Deasy. Maybe he wouldn't have been very happy with his place kicking that day, but I mean, he had an exceptional performance, and there are some very, very good young players knocking at the door.
There is. I think Ian Sherman is doing a fantastic job with the academy. You look there, and at the A team, and I played a couple of games with the A team this year, and the lads coming through are like Peter O'Mahony, Nagel Foley, Decky Cusack, you've Scott obviously, who's played a few games in the senior team now as well, and Tom Gleeson has played a good few games in the senior team as well. I mean, the lads they're all quality coming through, which is a great sign for the province that that the fellas coming out of school and coming out of college and playing that club rugby are stepping through now and coming putting their names forward for selection, which is always great because it puts everybody in the squad on their toes because they know there's young fellas coming through who are bursting to try and get on the team as well, So no, I think Ian and Ken and a few Ken O'Connell have done a great job with the lads, and it's starting to show their worth now at this stage,
Yeah, and pretty big news as well this week that Munster are going to be playing Australia in November, James. You played in the All Blacks game a couple of years ago. You know how big an occasion these games can be. Maybe the Australia game won't have the same amount of glamour, but it's something to look forward to, though.
No, I think it will, to be honest with you. I know obviously you mightn't have the pageantry of the haka and what have you, but I think for lads in provinces that haven't played international rugby, this is as big an opportunity as they're going to get to play international rugby, and I include myself in that. It's the All Blacks game now was fantastic, but unfortunately we lost, and it gives us another opportunity with Australia coming over to put to show the coaches and show the wider public that given an opportunity these guys can perform against the best in the world, and Australia are up there as the best with the best three teams in the world with themselves, New Zealand and South Africa, and any chance you get to play against anybody of that caliber, you relish it, so no, that's as I say, it's going to be a fantastic occasion again in Thomond Park with a screaming crowd behind us. So hopefully, things will go our way, maybe the way they didn't against the All Blacks. But no, that will be, as I say, that will be something we look forward to maybe at the start towards the end of pre-season next season and moving on into the Magners League. So no, as I say, it's another huge opportunity for guys to show how good they can be against world-class opposition.
Yeah, just very finally, James, I won't keep you any longer. Just want to get your opinion on the news that the Italian teams, 2 Italian teams coming into the Magners League next year. It'll obviously make it a bit more competitive. What's the general consensus in the dressing room?
I think overall we're all very pleased. It's 4 extra games I think in the season, so it's not a huge ask for anybody, and I think it gives the Italian sides as well a better platform for playing maybe in Heineken Cup, whereas and might mean for them they might retain more players in the Italian league rather than them going to France or to England, that those teams will get stronger, and as a result I think the Magners League will be stronger as a result of it. So overall we're the consensus from the lads is that it's great news that it's another 4 games, another 2 games at home. So we're when you're playing, you just want to get as many games as you can. So we were happy with the news, that they would be in the competition next season.
Red FM.